This is the tutorial for the lamp. My name is Joshua Njolu. So we're going to create a lamp in Blender. In this tutorial, we're going to use meshes like add mesh an object here, primitives and curves, and some modifiers. This continues from the previous example with the cap. It's simplified, but it helps you to set object in specific positions. That's its main purpose. So let's get started. So we're gonna start with the base of the lamp. So the easiest thing to do, I'm gonna use some shortcuts here. It's easier. So go to Mesh, that's Shift A, and just select a cylinder to start with. That's pretty huge, so it's not suitable for our job. So go to the radius, make it 1 meter and depth 0.2 meters, just for simplicity. You have to change the size. And for the location, just predefine the location to Z0.1. Yeah, well, it's random, but it's moving the object up by 1. So to adjust it right away above the 0 on the Z axis. So it's 0.2, the whole width, the depth of this object. So setting the Z to 0.1, it moves it exactly on the same level, on the ground level of this scene. So that's why we set that too. In this case, you can add a lot of stuff, but in our case, we're gonna just go here and add the bevel modifier. That's optional completely to create these edgy surface. I know it's not the best approach. Like I'm gonna go here to see the objects like that. Again, it's up to you. If you want to add more amount or segments, I would add some segments mainly, right? Not the amount. The angle, no, you won't see a huge difference, but that's a solid base for a cylinder, as a cylinder. Let's start as a cylinder, and then up as the base of your lamp. For the second object we're gonna add is another cylinder, of course, because we're gonna create a shaft. Right. So create the shaft. Same location should be there. So yeah, in the middle. So it should be the same location on the other one. Now it's reversed. Like the radius will be 0.2, and the depth around 1.5. Okay. For the position Z 0.95 is fine. Okay, so place it here. You can play with the position and the radius and the height and the width, but yeah, in this case it works fine. You can also add loop cuts in here. I'm going to show you how to add. You know how to add loop cuts profoundly, like so far. So go to edit mode, add some loop cuts to better handle this object. So you can like use the predefined locations, or just improvise, press Ctrl R and move it up and down. It's up to you how you're gonna do it. I'm gonna go back. This is enough for me. Right? All this extra geometry, and we can do this for spacing if you want. In this case, I'm gonna just leave it as it is. Go here and go to object mode again. So that's our shaft. The only thing you can add, the two things you can add in the base and the shaft. Can you see the base is better, right? Is to add Sage Smooth. Amazing. And you can also, that's optional because it creates a few issues. You can go to modifiers, generate, and go to subdivision surface. Create something like that. If you overdo it, it's going to create very weird effect. So if you need to fix it, like can you see the top part is okay for a lamp. I think it's not a big deal. But if you see the bottom part, you can either move it inside the base mesh, or there's a better way. So you can move it G and Z up here, then to edit mode, and select the bottom of the geometry, X-ray mode, right? Select it, and you can delete it. Faces is okay. Now you can turn to object mode, select this guy, G and Z, and move it up here. I think that's okay. That's your shaft. That's how you can create a shaft. It's pretty fun and easy. The next thing is pretty simple. Just go to Add, Mesh, and UV Sphere. In this UV Sphere, we have to set up its position, like the radius should be 0.5 or less if needed. But 0.5 for this case, it's okay. Move it up over the Z axis, right? And then move closer. Go to Edit Mode, Tab here. You can also select Tab, it's easier. I use Tab. Lock on the X or Y coordinate, on the coordinates, yes. And just make sure you have selected the B or the select box and select the bottom part of this object. This is the bottom right, and press delete. Faces is easy enough. We need to keep only the top part of the object. So G and Z, move it down here. Leave some space, we're gonna add something here. As you can see, this is empty, right? So there's enough space for a lamp, as an example. So we're gonna add, though, before we do add the lamp with a material in there, and we're gonna add some rings. So some rings as decorative rings. Again, I know it sounds silly, but there are lamps like that. So add a torus, right? Add mesh and add a torus, right? Pretty big, pretty large. You don't need that much. So I'm gonna change the major to 0.6 and the minor to 0.05. So 0.6 and 0.05. Okay, and then the position can be like G and Z. It's okay, just improvise, like move it here. You can also scale it down a little bit. It's up to you, right? If you want to make it like to touch the object, it's okay, right? You can do it like that. If you can also, there are two approaches here. You can select the object and then duplicate it and place it above the other one, somewhere here, and press S. Something like that. Oh, sorry, I did it like a lot, right? So you have to adjust it. For some reason it moved. So G and Y here, it's gonna move the object in the middle. Make sure you know the coordinates. Now it's scaled down, so it's good. And then you can add as many rings as you need. Or, there's another approach. Click here on the object, select it, and click modifiers. And type here array modifier, right? Not the legacy, the original one. This creates some modifiers here. If you some extra rings here, the count is 3. You can increase it to 4 as an example. You have as many as you want, but let's keep it to 3. Let's start with the endpoint. The endpoint creates extra materials, extra objects over the x-axis, but we don't want them in there. We need them over the z-axis. In here, you have 3 horizontal decorative rings. The offset is too much, but yeah, you can decrease it to be like on there. Right. That's your object. The problem with this guy is that it is a single object with a modifier, so you can't touch it, right? You can change it, but it's up to you how you're gonna do it. Actually, it's pretty good, right? For 1970s lamp, it's nice. The next thing we need to add is pretty simple. We're gonna add the light source. The light source is before we create the cord. So pretty simple to create it. Just add. Typically, we use UV spheres here. That's your sphere. Make sure to make it smaller, and then we're gonna add a material. Before we do that, set the radius to 0.2. 0.2 or less if needed. Yeah, 0.2 is nice. GZ up here. Sorry, yeah, it got escaped. So move it here. Actually, in the beginning, I'm gonna add it up here. You can sage move this guy. Actually, sage move everything. No problem with that. In this case, and then that's your object. So what we need to do, we need to add a material, but not a material like red or something. We need to add an emission material. The easiest thing to do is to, click on the object, go to the material, and I create a new material here. Right, name it emission, I don't know, glossy something. It didn't change, so I have to go here, glossy something. That's the name of the material. Keep the. You can change the color. I'm going to change it to reddish as an example, something like that. Like here, not yeah. Don't like overdo it, and you can go here, emission, and change the color of emission to something else, like whatever you want here, and then change the strength. Can you see the base color of the object? That's why I changed it. It's red, but the emission is green. Don't overdo it because it's going to turn to red, but the color of the light is green now. Okay, you can also go to shading and see how it works. You can also create a shader here, so you can right click, Shift A, shader, and create emission and connect it. But that's simpler, right? The thing we did is simpler. There's also the same output here, so you don't have to add it. If you wanna, why do we have though this emission shader there? Because if you wanna mix two colors or do some effects, you have to do it like that, right? You have to mix them later, and then assign them the color. In our case, that's enough. That's your object, right? If you cannot see the effect, I'm gonna just move it inside Z and Z, move it in here. No, it's hidden now, but okay, it's missing something. Go to the, there is an option here. We're in object mode, so render, right? Can you see it? It looks like a TV or a camera. I'm not sure what this is exactly. And make sure your render engine is EV, right? You can also select different stuff like workbench circles and stuff. EV is nice, right? It's great. Make sure you're here, and we can also assign materials to all our objects. I'm gonna do it like quickly now. We don't really need it, but okay. I'm gonna add like a blue color here, another color here. I don't know, like yellow, and that's will be like green. Pretty bad, right? And then I'm gonna add. No, I'm gonna reuse the green one for the base too. Okay, so that's your object with emission. The last thing I want to do is to add a Bezier curve. It's just an intro to Bezier curves, so we won't go like further. You remember that we use a Bezier curve to create some geometry. We can do the same here. I'm going to start with a simple addition. So add curve, go to Bezier. Bezier curves, I'm going to use them again. Don't worry, it's not the first thing you're going to see this guy. Go to here to the object properties here, and then rotate it by 90. Nice. Or yeah, 90 or minus 90, it's okay. Make sure it's facing your object like that. Okay, this, okay, but okay, I'm gonna move it like, or rotate it by minus 90. And then just select it and go to edit mode. Right, with edit mode, you can create like an wire using your, I don't know, your drawing skills. So you have to go around your design skills or whatever. And I'm going to go to Y here. See, it's so far. Never trust a single dimension, right? Check all dimensions. Yep, I think it's underneath here. Yep. And then I'm gonna, you have, as you can see in the Bezier curves have by default 2 control points. You can, as an example, move this guy here, right? Move it, or you can also scale it up, scale it down, or rotate to create the curvature you need. But you can also select these two, right-click, and subdivide to add extra control points inside it. Okay, so I'm going to use this control point, and actually I'm going to add another one here. Subdivide, move it up here to create like the illusion of, you know, like, oops, make sure it's not inside the object. It's something like that. And it should be higher. Or actually you can do that, press S, rotate it to the other side, and it's gonna make it like elevated. Okay, a little bit. Yes, we need to increase its height a bit. Now it's nice. And then move this closer, just to the edge of the object. So I'm gonna go up here, and then move it closer to the object. I hope this doesn't overlap. Okay. And then check again. It's very important to check all the dimensions, guys. It's pretty tricky. Sometimes you think that you have placed it correctly, but it's not correct. Here, rotate like that. And S works fine, like it's amazing, but it's underestimated by many. I'm gonna use this again. So see, this moved again, right? This part. So I'm gonna move it inside. I hope now it's good. Yeah, it's better. And then get this guy and move it down here, or any location you want. That's your wire now. The first thing you can do is to make it a mesh, right? So right click if you're happy with what you created. Right click, convert to mesh, right? As a Bezier curve, we can change it later. So that's a mesh. So this means that we can add some modifiers, some extra modifiers for the meshes. In this case, we can add a solidify, which is pretty fun. Or use the previous technique we used. So go add, mesh, and circle and enlarge it. But that's pretty decent, right? That's what you can do and create your wire. So that's your object. In this tutorial, we know how to create like a simple object. We didn't overdo it. We used again loop cuts more effectively in this time. We use new modifiers, which is pretty important. And we also use splines to create objects. And we transform them to meshes. And most important, if I forgot to mention that, we created a material, an emissive material placed on a lamp. Right. Don't forget, go here, make sure you're in Eevee, otherwise you won't see a lot. And this concludes this tutorial.